I'm stunned to hear you say we're now worried about normalizing this kind of thing. We had an attorney.
You are about to do right now. Let's hear it.
I'm about to tell you what happened in the state of New York when the Democratic Attorney General ran an entire political campaign promising not to uphold justice, but to prosecute one person, Donald Trump. And I didn't hear a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth among Democrats about normalizing the weaponization of justice. That chart you put up there, my question is, do they deserve it? If they didn't do anything wrong, I'm not certain anything bad's going to happen to them. Bolton, that started under Joe Biden. James, I mean, these people that you put on the screen, they may have something that needs to be looked at. But don't you have trust in the processes, grand juries? This is how the system works, and I don't have any. And Jim Comey, he's going to go to trial.
I think it's the abuse.
He's going to get a day in court in front of a jury of his peers.
It's the abuse of the system, and what we're talking about is the abuse of the system.
What abuse beyond the idea of prosecuting people when Democrats were going after Trump? Were you worried about abuse?
Because I firmly believe that Donald Trump broke the law and he was indicted.
Do you think the 34 charges that are cited all the time were good charges?
But let me just say this. I mean, you just sat here and talked about the process. You gave me a lecture about the grand jury system. Well, Donald Trump actually went to trial and got convicted.
Correct.
That is the process he went through. And let me just explain to you the difference in the abuse and the difference in departments of justice. I mean, we can go all the way back to Republicans having a fit when JFK tried to nominate RFK, his brother, to be Attorney General. But I can actually go back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden indicted his own son. Did he deserve to be indicted? Yes. But he indicted his own son.
You're saying the White House was directing. You're saying the White House was directing indictments. But
there's nobody
directing indictments. That's a revelation.
Just have one person speak at a time. What were you just saying? Question, because you talked about the weaponization of the Justice Department during Biden. Can you? Because this is something conservatives bring up a lot, and I understand there was a special counsel investigating Trump, and there were cases in New York and all that. But can you explain how the special counsel investigating Hunter Biden during the Biden presidency, which resulted in a criminal conviction, and the special counsel investigating into President Biden himself during the Biden presidency, which resulted in this incredibly damaging Her report, how do those investigations fit into the theory that the Biden era was one of Democrats weaponizing the Justice Department? Because they were also going after the Democratic president and his Democratic son.
They were not going after the president and his family. They did the bare minimum that they had to do to maintain the label on the door, Department of Justice. Okay, look, everyone knows this. This is not even a matter of dispute.
Hunter was going to go to jail.
President Trump, even when he was not president. Well, they went after President Trump criminally, civilly. They tried to just ruin him, destroy him, because they didn't want him to run for president again. I mean, there are volumes written about this, Jake, and you and I both know that that's true. And there'll be a lot of accountability, I hope, in the future to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Comey has been on a tirade against Trump since way back then, since 2016, 2017. Remember, he famously walked on the beach and put 86-47, implying that President Trump should be exterminated effectively, okay? It was a big controversy several months back, right? He has shown his bias, and they have used the Department of Justice against him. Remember all the former intel officials who signed the letter saying that the phony Russian dossier was real? I mean, everybody knows this. We don't have to relitigate it this morning. The point is the Department of Justice currently is doing what the Department of Justice should do, and they have to hold people accountable. We have to ensure that the rule of law applies to everyone, and that's exactly what's happening here.